In the unforgiving Arizona territory of 1876, Nora Reynolds has survived floods, droughts, and widowhood, but nothing prepares her for the moment three dangerous drifters threaten her homestead and children. Armed with nothing but her rifle and her fierce determination, she stands her ground, until a mysterious cowboy, Zachary Zane, rides out of the desert and changes everything. What begins as a life-saving intervention becomes a partnership forged through hardship, trust, and growing affection. As Nora rebuilds her world, she discovers that the stranger who saved her family might be the one man capable of healing her heart, and giving them all a future. In the harsh Arizona territory of 1876, survival meant grit, vigilance, and a steadfast refusal to surrender. Nora Reynolds understood this better than most. Widowed far too young, she had spent 3 long years raising her 2 children, Emma, age 8, and little Daniel, just 6. While tending to the small homestead her late husband left behind. She worked the fields, repaired the fences, hauled water, and prayed each night that the frontier's dangers would pass them by. But danger, as always, had a way of finding those who worked hardest to avoid it. It began one scorching afternoon when 3 drifters rode up to the homestead. Their horses were gaunt, their eyes shifty, their intentions far from good. Nora saw it immediately. The way they looked at her land, her barn, and then at her. She stepped onto the porch, rifle in hand, blocking the doorway where her children hid behind her skirt. "We need water," the largest man growled. "You can take some from the trough," Nora replied evenly, lifting her chin. Nothing more. But the men wanted more: food, supplies, a place to rest, maybe far worse. One took a single step closer, and Nora cocked her rifle, her heartbeat thundering but her hand steady. She'd defend her family even if it cost her life. "Ma'am," the drifter sneered, "you ain't in a position to be choosy." Just as he reached for her rifle barrel, a voice, calm, low, and edged with danger, cut through the tension. She said no. Everyone froze. A tall, dust-covered cowboy sat atop a dark bay stallion near the edge of the property, watching the scene with cold, steady eyes. His hat cast a shadow across his face, and the rifle resting across his saddle glinted like a warning. He nudged his horse forward. "You boys ought to move along." The drifters stiffened. Something about him, his posture, his certainty, told them he wasn't a man to test. After a tense moment, they spat curses, turned their horses, and rode off in a swirl of dust. Only then did the cowboy approach the porch. "You all right, ma'am?" he asked. Nora exhaled for the first time in what felt like hours. "Yes, thank you." The stranger nodded. "Name's Zachary Zane. Just passing through." Except he didn't pass through, not entirely. One of the drifters had circled back later that night, seeking revenge. Zachary, camped only half a mile away, heard the commotion and returned in time to stop him. Afterward, shaken but grateful, Nora insisted he stay a few days while they repaired the damages. Days turned into a week. A week into a month. And during that time, Zachary gradually became part of the life he'd stumbled into. He helped mend fences, chopped wood, taught Emma how to ride, and patiently showed Daniel how to whittle little animals from scrap wood. He carried himself with quiet strength, a loneliness in his eyes that matched the emptiness Nora carried in her heart since her husband's passing. Their bond grew slowly, rooted not in desperation, but in respect. He admired her resilience. She admired his kindness. The children adored him. One evening, as they stood on the porch watching the Arizona sunset paint the desert in gold and crimson, Zachary spoke softly. "You've built something strong here, Nora. Something worth protecting." She swallowed. "It hasn't been easy." "I can help," he said. "If you'll let me stay." Her breath trembled, not from fear, but from the realization that life was offering her something she never expected again. Hope. Partnership. Love. Months later, after facing a brutal winter, rebuilding the barn, and watching the children flourish under Zachary's steady presence, he finally took Nora's hands in his. "I don't want to just protect this family," he whispered. "I want to be part of it." With tears in her eyes, she nodded. Their marriage brought new strength to the homestead, two worn, brave souls building a life forged from hardship, trust, and a love that blossomed beneath the wild Arizona sky.